Hey, have you ever wondered, is everything around us as real as it seems? Or are we actually living in a reality full of boundaries that we just haven't noticed yet? In the next 10 minutes, we're not just going to explore this question, we're going to push through the very edges of reality as you know it. By the end, you'll not only be questioning everything you see, but also equipped with tools to begin breaking down the walls around your perception. So here's where we're starting. Let's picture reality as a screen that projects everything you've ever known. On it, there's your family, friends, even the chair you're sitting on right now. It's everything you accept without questioning. But like a screen, what if there's something more right beyond its edges? And here's the twist: what if there's a way for each of us to see past it, to break through? You might be thinking, this sounds like science fiction, but there's actually a deep layer of science, psychology, and even ancient philosophy behind it. The truth is, our brains are wired to fill in the gaps of reality, to make assumptions, and to lock us into a perception that, believe it or not, is very limited. But that doesn't mean we're stuck here. The exciting thing is, there are practical methods we can use to expand this boundary, and they're within your reach. Think about it. How many times in your life have you felt something profound that you can't quite explain? That subtle sense of something more, just out of sight. Those moments aren't random. They're hints, clues of a reality that's richer, bigger, and more vibrant than what we typically perceive. All right, now let's break down the first steps to glimpse beyond the veil.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more topics you love.
One powerful approach is through mindfulness and expanded awareness. If you're familiar with mindfulness, you might think it's just about being present, but there's an advanced layer to it. This deeper layer involves stretching our awareness to all things around us. Here's a practical exercise. Take a few minutes each day to tune into the sounds, sights, and feelings around you without judging them. Go beyond the obvious, the visible. Simply by practicing this, you're already nudging against the boundaries of what you perceive as reality. You're retraining your brain to observe without interpretation, opening yourself to sensations and awareness that you normally overlook. What's happening here is that you're conditioning your brain to stop filling in the blanks. When we release judgment, we make space for entirely new types of perceptions. And the more we do this, the further those boundaries expand. But what's beyond those boundaries? What might we actually see or feel if we could really push through? Imagine glimpsing a world where ideas, intuition, and knowledge flow directly, bypassing the limits of language and sensory interpretation. This world might not look like what we're used to, but it's rich, vibrant, and full of new information, ready to reveal itself. Still with me? Keep watching to unlock more techniques that will help you push even deeper. Next up, the unseen connections shaping your reality. Welcome back. So we've started nudging at the boundaries of reality, right? Now let's take it even further. What if reality isn't just about the things you see, but also deeply shaped by the connections you don't see? We're talking about the web of relationships, thoughts, and energies that link everything and everyone in ways we often miss. Here's a powerful truth to wrap your head around: every thought, every emotion, every intention carries energy. Scientists have studied the ways in which our brains interact with reality and are uncovering fascinating insights. Have you ever thought of someone right before they called you, or had an idea just moments before someone else shared it? These aren't coincidences. This is the web of connections making itself known, and once you start noticing it, you'll realize it's everywhere. All right, so how do we start seeing these connections in our daily life? Start by practicing a technique called intentional focus. Here's how: for the next few days, whenever you interact with people or even just observe them, try focusing on the emotions and intentions behind what's happening. Notice your own responses and how others react to you. Don't judge, just observe. This might seem simple, but over time it tunes you into the deeper, unseen layers of reality, the currents of intention, emotion, and thought that shape every interaction. Now, this isn't just about people. Try it with the objects and environments around you. Notice how some places feel peaceful, while others feel charged. This isn't magic, it's your brain beginning to pick up on subtle clues that it usually filters out. Another powerful tool is visualization, a technique where you actively imagine the connections around you. Let's try something together. Close your eyes and imagine that every person you know, every place you've visited, every memory and every dream forms a radiant thread connecting to you. Picture how these threads link you to a wider web of experience, one that spans the entire planet. The more you can feel this connection, the more those hidden connections reveal themselves. But you might be asking, why does this matter? How does this help us break through reality's boundaries? It matters because these connections are the bridge to understanding realities that exist beyond the everyday world. These threads form a pathway leading us toward new perspectives, ideas, and experiences that can change everything. So, what if reality isn't just physical? What if it's woven together by ideas, emotions, and beliefs, and those are the real threads we need to explore? Ready to go deeper? Stay tuned, the final part is going to reveal how to actually push past these boundaries and reframe your entire perspective on reality. All right, you've made it to the final part. By now, you're probably feeling like reality isn't as solid as you once thought. We've explored how our senses, thoughts, and connections influence what we perceive. Now, it's time for the most powerful piece: how to actively shape and expand the boundaries of your reality. This is where we bring in intentional transformation. Think of reality as being like a lens. This lens is usually rigid, but what if you could consciously adjust it? You could see clearer, further, even into ideas and concepts you never knew existed. One key practice here is daily reflection and question-based exploration. Here's how it works each day. Set aside time to question one aspect of reality. Ask yourself something profound, like, what is time really? Or what do I take for granted? Follow this by observing your reactions and beliefs. This questioning approach will gradually reveal where your assumptions lie and allow you to consciously adjust them. Then, there's mental visualization of boundary-breaking concepts. Visualize yourself moving beyond a door, a portal, or a gateway in your mind. Imagine what it might look like on the other side. Fill in details, let your mind wander. Visualization might sound abstract, but it's scientifically proven to help train your brain in ways that expand your perception and make it easier to adjust to new concepts. Let's go even deeper. Use meditative imagination. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and allow your mind to experience a moment outside of linear time. It doesn't need to be long, just a few minutes. Picture events happening simultaneously, or feel yourself in multiple places at once. This might sound strange, but by practicing this, you're subtly conditioning your brain to accept that reality is more flexible than we usually perceive. And over time, this practice breaks down the barriers in your perception. The best part: once you've started shifting your own perception, you can begin to share this with others. By exploring these concepts with those around you, you create a ripple effect, helping others to question and expand their own realities too. In doing so, you contribute to a larger network of people ready to break through their own boundaries. As we wrap up, I'll leave you with one last thought. What if every moment, every thought, every interaction is a part of a reality so vast, so complex, that breaking through its boundaries means simply opening ourselves up to endless possibilities? What if you're just one choice, one moment, away from seeing a world far richer than you've ever imagined? Thank you for sticking with me through this journey. Remember, the boundaries of reality aren't fixed. They're just waiting for you to push through. Now go out there, question, explore, and break through your reality's boundaries. So here we are at the next layer. What if everything we've discussed so far, the senses, the connections, and the boundaries, is just scratching the surface? According to thinkers like Martin Rees, even the most brilliant scientific minds agree that we've only touched a fraction of what's out there. But that's not a discouragement, it's an invitation. You see, science itself is full of mysteries. Even with all our advancements, we're often faced with questions that seem to stretch beyond the physical, like the origins of the universe or the mind-bending nature of quantum physics. Martin Rees has pointed out that our brains, which evolved to help our ancestors survive, are now trying to grasp phenomena on a cosmic and quantum level concepts they were never designed to understand. Imagine the everyday world our ancestors lived in compared to the mind-bending realities we're trying to comprehend today. It's like expecting a fish to understand the workings of the forest above. But instead of being limited by these challenges, we can embrace the sense of mystery. What if we could tap into this wonder and use it as a gateway to deeper understanding? This is where humility comes into play. Rees suggests that we're not the culmination of intelligence in the universe, rather, we're a part of its ongoing complexity. This isn't about finding every answer, but learning to exist in awe, open to questions that may not even have answers yet. When we approach reality with humility, we can start to dissolve the limits imposed by our need for certainty. This doesn't mean abandoning knowledge, it means seeing knowledge as a path, not a destination. Think about this: what if the true nature of reality is so vast, so intricate, that it goes beyond what we can even ask about? Rees raises a fascinating point about questions themselves. He suggests that the limits of our reality might actually come from the limits of our questions. If we can ask a question, we're already on the path to understanding it. But what about questions that we can't even conceive? Realities that lie outside the range of human thought. This is where the concept of mental flexibility comes in. We're used to logic and structure, but true boundary breaking means letting go of these at times. Here's a practical exercise: spend a few minutes each day considering things without trying to analyze them. Instead of categorizing or explaining, just sit with a feeling or a thought, letting it exist without needing to know why. This practice stretches your mind's capacity to accept the unknown, training you to hold complex ideas that don't fit neatly into existing categories. And here's another technique: reverse questioning. Take an assumption or a question you have about reality, such as what is time, and ask yourself the opposite. What would it mean if time isn't real at all? This isn't about finding the answer, but about experiencing a new way of thinking, opening doors you didn't even realize were closed. The more you engage with these expansive ideas, the more your mind stretches beyond its usual limits. So what does it really mean to break through reality's boundaries? Rees himself advocates for peaceful coexistence between what we know and what we don't know. In essence, he's encouraging us to live at the edge of understanding, not as conquerors of truth, but as explorers in a vast, unknown reality. The best part is, this isn't just a mindset, it's a way of life. By embracing the unknown, by opening ourselves to mysteries that defy simple explanations, we cultivate a new kind of awareness. And with this awareness comes freedom. Freedom from needing to categorize everything, from rigid beliefs, from the fear of the unknown. Living with this mindset doesn't just change your perception, it transforms your reality itself. Let me leave you with one final thought. Imagine that reality as we see it is like a canvas with colors and patterns. We're all a part of this grand tapestry, but each of us sees only a piece. As we learn to see beyond our boundaries, we don't just change ourselves, we bring new colors, new patterns into view for everyone. So go ahead, live on the edge, break through the boundaries. Reality is waiting for you to see just how vast it truly is. Thank you for being a part of this journey, and remember, the mystery is the doorway to the extraordinary. Now that we've explored what it means to approach reality with humility and openness, let's take it a step further. Imagine if living at the edge of understanding could set you free, not just in an abstract, philosophical sense, but in a tangible, everyday way. What if the boundaries we break in our minds help us break free from limitations in our lives, giving us more choices, resilience, and peace? This is where we can bring in practical openness, the act of living with curiosity in every moment. Most of us approach life with certain assumptions about what's possible and impossible. But by choosing to live with an open mind, we give ourselves the freedom to see solutions and connections we wouldn't normally recognize. Start by questioning everyday experiences. When you face a challenge, ask yourself, what if the answer is something I've never thought of before? Or what if I let go of how I think things should be? This process does something incredible. It gradually rewires your mind to welcome the unexpected. You're building mental flexibility and resilience, qualities that empower you to adapt to changes and embrace challenges as opportunities. Over time, you'll notice that your sense of possibility expands. You'll begin to see choices and pathways that weren't visible before. This brings us to surrendering control. Now, surrender sounds like giving up, but it's actually the opposite. It's about recognizing that reality is complex and that we don't have to grasp everything to make progress. When you accept that some things are unknowable, you can stop struggling against the mystery and start flowing with it. This isn't about being passive, it's about moving forward with faith, knowing that while you can't control everything, you can trust in your own ability to navigate whatever comes. Let's talk about intuition, that inner sense that seems to guide us beyond logic and reason. While we often rely on facts and reasoning, intuition taps into layers of reality that are harder to see and measure. Think of intuition as a bridge between your conscious mind and the wider, unseen aspects of reality. When we learn to trust and cultivate it, we gain access to a deeper kind of wisdom. So how do you begin tuning into this powerful source of insight? First, start with small intuitive practices. Set aside a few minutes each day to sit quietly and tune into your inner self. Ask yourself questions like, what do I need to know right now? Or what feels right for me? Listen to the subtle responses that arise without judging or overanalyzing. These small moments train your mind to recognize the quiet but profound voice of intuition. Another way to build intuition is by paying attention to patterns and synchronicities. Ever notice how sometimes events or thoughts repeat in your life? Maybe you keep seeing a certain symbol or hearing the same phrase. These patterns are often clues from your subconscious, guiding you toward insights or decisions. When you learn to notice and trust these patterns, they can lead you toward choices that feel aligned with a deeper truth. Finally, practice intuitive decision-making. The next time you have a choice to make, pause and tune into what feels right rather than what makes the most logical sense. This doesn't mean abandoning logic, but balancing it with intuition to make choices that resonate on a deeper level. Intuition can open doors to experiences and opportunities that would otherwise remain hidden within the boundaries of pure rationality. All right, let's bring it all together. We've journeyed through the idea of boundaries in reality, questioned assumptions, embraced the unknown, and tapped into the power of intuition. But here's the thing, breaking through reality's boundaries isn't a one-time event. It's a lifelong journey, one that continues to unfold with each step you take. Living beyond boundaries means staying open to change, to growth, to transformation. It's about constantly evolving your understanding of yourself and the world around you. As we push through each boundary, we encounter new layers, deeper mysteries, and fresh challenges. This journey keeps expanding, offering endless opportunities to learn, explore, and evolve. But this is the most beautiful part. The more boundaries we break, the more we realize that we're all connected in this journey. Every person, every being, every part of existence is part of the same grand tapestry, each one exploring their own edges of reality. So when you expand your own boundaries, you also contribute to the expansion of collective understanding. Your journey isn't just personal, it's part of something much larger. In closing, remember that breaking through reality's boundaries isn't about reaching some ultimate answer or truth. It's about the joy of discovery, the thrill of mystery, and the courage to live with questions. It's about being a part of a vast, infinite universe, one that invites us to push further, dream bigger, and live beyond what we thought was possible. Thank you for joining me on this exploration. Keep questioning, keep discovering, and keep breaking through. The mysteries of reality are endless, and the journey has only just begun.